You took the one thing Mr. Serene needed to survive, Dr. Amaral. That made you priority one.
Yeah, they made that clear. Monarch lined every escape route with barricades, roadblocks. I had to get to the mainland, but I couldn't do it by car. Needed a new plan.
All right, let's go.
Beth, I think I'm gonna need a ride. The streets are too hot.
All right, where do you want me?
I'll let you know as soon as I find some higher ground and get a good look at the situation on the bridge. I think it might be a no-go.
Hallo.
Hallo, willkommen zurück bei der gebrochene Quantum. Das gebrochene die gebrochenen Quanten.
Quantum Break, das neue 3D Jump'n'Run von
Yay. Oh ja, das Spiel ist, dann nimmst du dir das beste Spielelement dieses Spiels und machst daraus ein eigenes Spiel.
Doch mal hier, Warjump.
Hast du gesehen, wie flüssig er da drauf gesprungen ist? Ah, wunderschön. Es sieht so, wie er kurz mal runterfällt, nachdem er hochgeklettert ist. Super. Nam, 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 nam.
Ach ja.
Es ist nur ein Tag später für uns, weil wir ja auch Bock hatten, das weiterzuspielen. Gestern gingen viele Sachen ab. Die Episode war ein bisschen lahm, fand ich. War für mich so die lahmste Episode, weil die hat sich sehr noch stärker als die anderen auf die 3 Vögel da konzentriert hat.
Die 3 Vögel. Ja.
Was ist das?
Warum ist noch eins?
Dieses Singvieh?
Meinst du Mr. Heuso?
Weiß ich nicht, heißt er so?
Ja, aber er sieht nochmal anders aus.
Aber er ist auch gelb und ist ein Vieh.
Er ist auf jeden Fall gelb.
Er ist ein gelbes Vieh, das sind alle Vergleiche, die ich brauche.
Ist er einfach nur Mr. Heuso oder Dr. Heuso?
Dr. Heuso?
Ich bin mir nicht mehr sicher.
Aber war das ein Doktor? Was hat er denn
was hat er denn gedoktert?
Im Gebiet? Gynäkologe. Dr. Heuso war der beste Gynäkologe der Welt.
Einfach nur runter. Nee. Ja, ist ja tatsächlich ein 3D-Jump'n'Run hier.
Da muss aber noch ein extra sein direkt, ne? Ja. Nicht so gut versteckt.
Habe es bereits
I
gesehen.
don't know. Maybe you could sneak across?
Well, maybe.
Or I could pick you up. Let me know. Pretty exposed out
Wir sind auf dem Weg zurück zu der Schwimmhalle, um da halt die Time Machine zu starten mit Emerald zusammen, weil Emerald und Beth ja schon da sind.
How's Dr. Amaral?
Still kicking and screaming. How long do you need to get here?
That depends. Let me check.
That's pretty.
Das erkennst du vielleicht auch wieder.
Die Wolken?
Nee, diese Szene. Diese Wolken. Die sind direkt aus Halo kopiert, das sieht so gut aus.
Hätte ich
Ignoriere die
gesehen.
Spaceships.
Also ich erkenne das Panorama, aber das schon von anderen Stellen gesehen habe, weil irgendwo in die Richtung ist diese
Ja?
Ja, dieses Ding von Serene hier.
Boah, ist ja wie
wo
Dark
wir davor
Souls.
waren. Ja, ne?
Ja.
Kann seinen Weg nachvollziehen. Wie er da steht.
What?
So halb schwebend.
Er reibt seine Wange gerade da dran.
Still there?
Ja, weird, ne?
Yeah, just looking for a viewpoint.
Oh.
Sich gerade an was erinnert? Night Springs. Oh! What? Ich hatte recht.
Nicht schlecht.
Was zum Teufel?
So, we don't know where he is. We can't find him. So we need to look into a replacement.
Das ist großartig. Fuck.
All ponies are made of butter in Night Springs. Ah! There is always lots of the crazy things happening in Gidu of Niget Spring.
Thank you.
Springs.
All ponies are made of butter in Night Springs.
We know the old dance, the fortunate and the destitute. The haves and the have-nots. Those who dine at the table and those who starve in the street. But the tables can be but the tables can be turned. The gluttonous consumer may find himself the consumable resource. Do that again.
And yet, that is the fate that awaits you in Night Fringe.
It's Night Springs.
Night cringe.
Springs.
So dumm.
Ja, aber wirklich.
Bright blings.
Night Springs.
Fright. Whinge.
Fright Wind.
Jesus.
We know the old dance. The fortunate and the destitute. The haves and the have-nots. Those who dine at the table and those who starve in the street, but the tables can be turned. The gluttonous
Super.
consumer may find himself the consumable resource in Night Springs.
Perfekt.
Aced it. Der hat sich
Right.
nicht verlesen.
Things.
Achso.
Night Things.
Okay, das ist sehr random.
Wir haben die gleiche Reaktion, nur dass du viel direkter einfach vorher sagst, oh, Night Springs, das war sehr gut. Ja, offensichtlich ist der Erzähler auch verschwunden, oder war der Erzähler, war doch nicht Alan Wake? Alan Wake war ein Writer für die Show.
Also Night Springs, genau. Da wurde das überhaupt mal thematisiert?
Dass er
Also, dass er Writer
ja.
war, ja, aber wer sonst noch beteiligt war an
Nee,
Night Springs?
eigentlich nicht. Deswegen, aber es ist bestimmt irgendwie auch ein Extra, dass man weiß, warum der Narrator weg ist. Sehr toll.
Night Things.
Remember Alan Wake, you guys? Alan Wake.
Das war ein guter Schnitt gerade.
Ja.
Quantum Break.
Ja. Wisst ihr noch die ganzen coolen Übergänge in Alan Wake? kennt ihr noch?
Stimmt. Das hatte wirklich ein paar coole
So
Übergänge.
viele coole Übergänge. Ich hab's ja noch weiter gespielt privat. Das ist Wahnsinn.
I can't stay here long, Jack. You're gonna need to be quick.
Yeah, about that. That's what she said.
Bad news?
Reoccurring theme of the night. I'm looking at the bridge right now. If I go anywhere near that thing, there's gonna be innocent people.
Oh,
caught
die
in
Bridge.
crossfire.
Deswegen soll ich es wieder
All
erkennen.
right. Any bright ideas?
Woher erkennst du es gerade wieder?
Demo E3.
Let me see.
Kram.
There's a pier under the bridge. You should be able to meet me there with the boat. Giant gas sign out front. Can't miss it.
It's nice and bright for Monarch to see.
There's not a lot of options. Switching to Monarch frequencies. Be in touch soon.
And I'll be there in a few minutes. Don't stand me up.
Ja, doch. Ah, ich hab den Korb gegeben. Hihi.
Okay, how are we getting down there? Where's the fire pole?
For those of you just tuning in, the manhunt continues as authorities search for Jack Joyce, the suspect in last night's university terror attack. Joyce may also have been involved in a firefight at the Monarch Mansion on Gull Island approximately 30 minutes ago. On the line, we have Ken Bukowski, a bridge operator for the Port Donnelly Bridge. Ken, what can you tell us about the situation out there?
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to my little guy. Hey, Ben, hope you're listening.
Isn't it past his bedtime?
He'll be up reading those Hunger Games books if I know him. But, yeah, I'm just out here in the control booth overlooking the bridge.
Fucking love Hunger
Monarch's
Games.
got a roadblock set up, checking all the cars as they go through. It's all very well organized. I got a nice young fellow from Monarch up here, Darren, doing some kind of lookout from above. He's not a coffee drinker, so there must be something wrong with him. No, but we're in good hands. Even though it's not cops at the roadblock.
Yes, Ken, Monarch is working to assist the police in the hunt for Jack Joyce. I know some people have asked, does Monarch have the authority to do this? Well, my question is, if not Monarch, then who? I think we need to recognize that we are currently in a state of crisis. Why isn't Joyce behind bars? If the police are overwhelmed, then I say we take all the help we can get. Monarch is the only thing keeping this city safe. Am I right, Ken?
I guess that makes sense.
You bet it does. I suggest we
Sind
stop
so
asking
subtil.
why they're helping us and start helping them. But that's just me. We're opening the lines for your thoughts, Riverport, right after this.
Weißt du, da müsste es eigentlich so wir haben gerade eine Breaking News bekommen. Jack Joyce ist pädophil.
Ja.
Jack Joyce ist pädophil. Definitiv sehr, sehr pädophil.
Sehr. Propaganda.
Da rechts ist was du... Warte. Rechts, was du sehen kannst im Gespräch.
Have you seen anything out of the ordinary? Is that the guy who blew up the library? James Joyce? Jack Joyce, yeah. You see anything out of the ordinary? Well, I mean, there's a sports car parked in the streets back there. It's kind of wrecked. It's a little unusual. Please, show me where. Right now.
Oh.
Das ist halt schon, also diese ganzen Sachen sind halt wirklich komplett anders, je nachdem was, das ist so, diese ganzen Kapitel verändert sich je nachdem, was du im ersten Kapitel entschieden hast. Ob du Hardline oder PR gemacht hast.
Okay.
Weil natürlich die Leute nur auf der Seite von Monarch sind, weil du PR gewählt hast.
Ja.
Wenn du Hardline gemacht hättest, hättest du die alle
Wäre das Radio gar nicht so...
Dann hätte es einen anderen Radiomoderator.
Ja, das ist schon ganz cool. Oh. Yes.
Das ist quasi, also du kennst quasi die Hardline-Variante von der E3, wo es die Riots auf den Straßen gibt und sowas.
Wobei kennen ist auch relativ, weil also ist jetzt nicht so, dass ich mich da Schritt für Schritt dann
klar.
gerade Kreis gedrückt halten, um da so runter zu sliden.
Ja, die Ähnlichkeiten sind erdrückend. Wie würdest du dir das jetzt rufen?
Somebody's sneaking around down there. Hey! I think that's Jack Joyce!
Hey!
Hey, Jack Joyce! Das Lustige ist, wenn du die andere Variante gewählt hättest, wäre es gleich passiert, du hast ja gesagt hätte, hey, da unten! Monarch ist böse, komm nicht hoch! Und dann sind die auch alle.
Okay.
So exakt das Gleiche.
Dumm.
Das wäre so cooler, wenn Jack das macht. Das wäre sein No.
No, 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 no.
Ah, fuck you, goddammit! Was ist denn los heute?
Das war super. Super Timing. No.
God damn it, Crash and Break.
Hattet ihr Waffen dabei? Hey, ich hab doch gerade so eine Zeitlupen-Dings bekommen.
Zeitlupen-Dings?
Ja, das heißt doch, ist keiner mehr da.
Naja, das war der erste Kampf. Oh, die Alita. Oh, lecker. Lecker Technologie.
Wo sind sie?
Der steckt sich hinter der Kiste. Smarter Boy.
Das bringt bei denen nur wenig, gell?
Ja, bei denen nicht, stimmt, bei denen nicht.
Das ist schon ein Toter.
Mhm.
Goddammit.
Keine Sorge, das hat der hast du nicht getroffen.
Mhm.
Oh, ja. Ach, guck sie an.
Brauch mal deine Rifle.
Oh, shit. Hier liegt das mit Köpfen gegeneinander, beide gehen der Schütterung tot.
Oh, George. Come on.
Nice. Wie toll das ist.
My plan to meet Beth went out the window as soon as the stutter hit.
Her boat couldn't get to you.
No. But it gave me an opportunity to climb up on the bridge and cross it. Slip right past Monarch, more or less undetected.
Ja, die hätte vielleicht gar nicht ihren Zeitrucksack da abziehen sollen. Aber jetzt kannst du ja in Ruhe, ohne irgendwelche Zwischenfälle bestimmt
I should get up on that bridge and make my way across it before this stutter ends.
Er hat keine so gute Zeit gehabt. Ist das der, den von dem Fass hier erwischt wurde und deswegen da in so einer komischen Position
stimmt, das
hängt?
kann gut sein. Ach, super. Super toll.
Ja, das ist schon, also
Kann man schon mal mögen.
kann man schon durchaus sehr, sehr gern haben.
Dein Dings tingelt, bevor du durchgehst?
Stimmt.
Okay.
Aber auf der anderen Seite.
Kann noch da oben sein.
Ist das da was?
Das
Ach, nur ein
Fass,
Explosionsfass, okay. Das sah gerade aus wie vorgespult.
Ja, stimmt.
Nein. So, hatten wir jetzt nicht.
Yay, nice.
Genau, können wir eins weitermachen. Time Dodge hatten wir voll, Time Shield ist voll.
Das machst du eigentlich nicht so
Blast
wirklich häufig,
benutze ich so wenig, aber das kann ja auch einfach meine Schuld sein. Time Rush war das danach, ne? Focus Time Last Longer, ja. Das ist ein bisschen lame, weil das ja nicht der Grund ist, weshalb ich Time Rush benutze. Ich mach einfach.
Ja, du kommst halt echt gut aus vielen. Also du kommst aus halt aus so ziemlich allen Situationen raus mit Time Rush.
Das stimmt.
In der anderen Version kommt er genau jetzt, gleich erst. Mit dem letzten Teil. Quasi, wenn du dich da jetzt umdrehst, die Treppe hochläufst, kommt da ein Truck durch den Zaun gebrochen und fällt runter, weil halt Riots gibt und einer raus da unseren Truck versucht. Quasi der, mit dem du der gerade da angerufen hat. Ich glaube, es war ein Truckdriver. Dieser Truck kommt halt durchgerast und fliegt dir entgegen und alles
They were
eskaliert.
cops. They had no authority to do this. But the Monarch PR machine had done its job. Here they were, the heroes protecting everybody.
And you were the terrorist.
Schon ganz cool.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not the one you should be scared of, guy.
These guys suck.
Have you seen the series? My God. Irgendwo? Ach da.
Da ist ja noch ein Collectible irgendwo.
No sign of him, sir. Honestly, I can't see him showing up here.
Ja, 2 Leute.
Lass mal ein.
Listen, if you see
Jack Joyce Mugshot.
don't
Okay.
try to approach him. Just call the number, okay?
I didn't drink.
It's even worse than my passport picture.
Just watch yourself. Just be patient, folks.
Oh Gott, das wird jetzt spaßig. All field operatives be advised that Martin Hedge is now considered a compromised asset. All orders and instructions from him, new or existing, have been rendered invalid and have been countermanded. Please contact your supervisor for further information as required. Hedge is responsible for the destruction of vital medical supplies, involved in the deaths of numerous Monarch personnel, and may be collaborating with Jack Joyce. The investigation is ongoing, but Martin Hedge is to be detained with maximum force if encountered. If he cannot be captured, he should be considered a priority target who should under no circumstances be allowed to escape. Take no chances. He is considered to be extremely dangerous.
Okay. Das steht ja jetzt auch nur da, weil wir die andere Entscheidung getroffen haben.
Ich glaube schon, ja.
Es fließt also alles ineinander über.
Mhm. Das mag ich ja, dass es nicht nur ein Kapitel ist und dann ist.
Ja.
Sondern es geht halt. Ist halt größere.
Da liegt eine Waffe.
Ist so.
Du schon wieder?
Schlecht gezielt.
Ne, wirklich. Er ist nicht mal ausgewichen. Okay.
Er hat einen Zeitgranatenwerfer.
Na komm. Fuck. Ah!
Mal Dash benutzen.
Wollte ich gerade.
Ach so, du bist durch. Ich glaube, einer von denen hatte den Dämpfer dabei.
Ach so,
und du
das
bist durch einen vorbeigerannt.
Ja, ging jedenfalls
und
auch
plötzlich
nicht
waren
mehr.
alle deine Dings im Cooldown-Modus.
Ärgerlich. Stimmt an der Stelle, wo wir noch nicht mal auf der Brücke waren.
Ich glaube, das wird.
Spawnen wir jetzt.
Ich weiß nicht, ob ich da gestorben bin, deswegen kann ich es, glaube ich, gar nicht sagen.
Vielleicht sollten wir erst die kleinen auseinandernehmen.
Yay. Aber Collectibles sind eingesammelt?
Oh.
Ich meine das schon. Ja, es wird sofort gespeichert.
Okay. So kann man das.
Der Nissan Titan soll richtig gut sein, habe ich mir sagen lassen.
Ladebildschirm. Ja, habe ich auch gehört.
Fucking Christ.
Dabei sind wir in dem Gebiet.
Ja,
Legt jetzt die Gegner rein oder was?
Ich weiß nicht, was er macht. Das dauert sehr lange. Nicht nochmal sterben, Tom.
Hätten wir uns die Cutscene genauso gut angucken.
Oh ja, wirklich. No pressure. Einer von denen hat einen...
Fuck.
Okay, nice. Also hier kannst du übrigens die Autos auch gut ausnutzen, falls... Ah, oh, der macht den Time-Dodge. Gerade weg. Das habe ich noch nie gesehen, dass die den Time-Rush-Nahkampf-Move machen. Das ist ja geil. Zweimal durchgeführt, selbst nie gesehen. Ach, schießt aufs Auto, schießt aufs Auto, schießt aufs Auto.
Ich wollte erst Abstand machen.
Mann. Ich glaube, ich habe einen Schaden an ihm gemacht. Kannst du nochmal...
Müssen mit dem Rücken dazu stehen.
Keine Schrotflinte oder so dabei?
Komm. Und jetzt.
Oh, ah. Oh! Du hast die Granatenexplosion in den Time Zone getrappt.
Keine anderen Waffen gerade?
Ja, du springst ganz an der Shotgun vorbei.
Wo war die denn? Ich habe hier doch
rechts neben
irgendwo
dem
auch eine
Auto.
Waffe gesehen.
Ja,
Genau, das
Munition. Ja, das war das.
Nein, was machst du? Ich habe nicht mal springen gedrückt.
Du bist gefallen und dann hat er sich automatisch... Du hast die Munition aber nicht genommen. Und die Waffe
Warum
auch
die
nicht.
Shotgun auch nicht genommen? Mein Gott.
Du hast die Munition wieder nicht genommen.
Boah, das dauert viel zu lang.
Okay. Okay, good. Just gotta make it across this damn bridge and I'll be clear.
Die wedeln immer noch so ein bisschen rum vorher. Face off.
Die hat eine...
Wow, das ist ja geil. Das ist ein sehr schönes Detail.
Ja.
Völlig unnötig. Wir sind die Ersten, die das gesehen haben.
Die allerersten.
Wir haben einen Preis gewonnen gerade. Eine Möwe.
Okay.
Ja, normalerweise, ich glaube, es war wirklich das eine Mal mit dem Audiobook, dass in einem Kampfgebiet auch was lag. Ich kann mich zumindest an keine andere Instance erinnern.
Das ist immer stärker voneinander getrennt, ne?
Ja.
Weil wir haben auch oft so Hubs, wo dann einfach 10 Collectibles rumliegen.
Ja.
Wenn man erstmal eine halbe Stunde liest.
Und das ist die Szene, die wir bei Gamescom gesehen haben.
Ach, war das Gamescom mit der Brücke?
Mhm.
Nicht hier drei.
Ne, das war ja privat, das war, wurde ja gar nicht veröffentlicht bis ein paar Monate
stimmt.
später.
Hier war irgendwas. Ah. Chronons.
Man, das ist ja einfach. Ah, gar nicht perfekt. Oh.
Fuck.
Das war ja auch im ersten Reveal-Trailer, ne?
Stimmt.
Also das war nicht der Reveal-Trailer, das war der zweite Trailer, wo man dann die echt Live-Action zwischenschnitten
Er hat
hatte.
dieses Boot da reingesteuert.
Ja, das wird aber auch erklärt.
Martin Hedge.
Oh, toll. Diese Stutters sorgen quasi dafür, dass verschiedene Orte verschieden weit springen in der Zeit und es ist nicht immer überall gleich, sondern das Schiff zum Beispiel ist ja plötzlich nach vorne gesprungen, während die Brücke noch so war wie vorher, sodass dann einfach Unfälle,
Ja, jetzt da drin
Unfälle
hängt.
passieren. Das ist ziemlich lucky, möchte ich sagen.
Oh Gott. Unser Held hätte hier sehr leicht sterben können.
Yep.
Oh no. This is so bad.
Understatement. Aber auch sehr cool.
I knew I'd be dead if the stutter collapsed while I was in the frozen crash.
Fuck.
I had to reach solid ground, and the deck of the cargo ship was my best bet. Just had to
Das
find a way
sieht so
down.
cool aus. Ist das ein Truck?
Ja, stimmt.
So halb.
Yep. Weird.
Oh. Schon schwer nachzuvollziehen.
Ja, eigentlich leuchten die auch roter. Röter?
Hat er gerade no gesagt?
Öfter als ich in Erinnerung habe. Was ein Rip auf dieses Spiel ist. Oh man. I love this.
Now what?
Könnte ich eine ganze Weile zugucken,
Oder?
ohne dass mir langweilig
Ja.
wird.
Das ist so viel zu sehen.
Ja. Und dieses Auto hier auch so.
Zusammengematscht wird dann auch. So leicht.
Ist hier
Toll.
irgendwas? Ich soll nicht. Okay, aber ich soll da durch. Ist ja eigentlich da reinfriesen, oder?
Freezen kannst du es nicht. Doch, was? Das ist weird, weil eigentlich sagen die ja, man kann nur kleine Dinge freezen. Ich weiß nie, wo dann wann klein und wann groß wirkt. Ah, guck mal, da siehst du mal genauer, wie der Truck in der Hälfte zerstört ist.
Cool. Sieht aus wie Eis, das Wasser. Ist es vielleicht auch
gefroren quasi. Ja. Schön, wie dieser Weg genau dir gelegt wurde. Wie tot die ganzen Leute einfach auf der Brückhalle sind, ne? Und dann Dings tingelt.
Ah. Den Dings. Ja, okay. Mehr sagt's mir hier nicht, ne?
Ne, das muss man noch. Oh!
Ach, come on.
Das war eigentlich geschafft.
Aber wirklich.
Das war das Anti-Dark Souls 3 in diesem Fall. Weil wenn man sagen, dass das 3.1 kann, sind es Hitboxen.
Hitbox.
Gestern noch einen Artikel auf Kontakt verlinkt, der nur aus Hitbox-Poren aus Dark Souls bestand.
Hab ich gesehen.
So befriedigend.
So befriedigend.
Ich will das so machen, ne?
Na, vielleicht mit Dashen? Ich weiß es nicht.
Ich hab ja gerade gedasht.
Naja, ich meine das andere Dashen. Ja, na, jetzt gibt's.
Egal.
Keep heading downwards, towards the cargo ship.
Achso.
Wenn das eine ist halt eher Sprinten und das andere ist Dashen.
Ja, ist es auch.
Oh
nein.
Oh, geil.
Nein.
Dieses Geräusch auch.
Gruselig.
The route down wasn't exactly user-friendly.
But still
The
awkwardly
fracture was getting much
convenient.
worse. Timelines getting scrambled. Caught in violent loops, off sync. Crashing into each other.
Guck es dir
This
an,
was
ey,
what the
toll.
time would look like. Everything was broken.
Ja, dann lass das mal passieren. Es sieht viel cooler aus als die normale Welt.
And no one would know.
Schön, aber sie zeigen hier keine anderen Leute. Den Sprung hat er übrigens gerade automatisch.
Ja, das fand ich auch so weird.
Ja. Da fehlen Geräusche.
Ja, und das ist genau das gleiche passiert das erste Mal.
Wir einfach nur Glück haben gerade. Sind wir genau vor dem Tanker und werden
It was escalating.
weggefahren.
Objects were moving out of time, out of order, entire timelines overlapping. And it was gonna get worse.
Ja, da
Unless we could stop it.
Okay, sie erwähnen an dieser Stelle doch Timelines.
Mhm.
Wo ich jetzt mal gedacht, aber das ist wohl irgendwie dann auch so gemeint, deswegen crasht dann Sachen ineinander, weil einfach alles ausrastet.
You're wielding. You need to hand this technology over to Monarch. I've prepared for what happens next.
You say you're prepared, but no part of this plan of yours involves stopping it from happening.
Even if I fix William's machine, what could you possibly hope to achieve? The end of time is coming. There's no way to...
This isn't a debate. I just watched a ship fast forward through a fucking bridge. Time is running out. And the fracture's getting worse by the minute.
And it cannot be stopped. Paul has been to the end of time. He's witnessed it firsthand. Can't you see? We prepared for what's next out of necessity.
Your research is based on work by William Joyce. You respected him. He knew that the fracture would occur, but he also knew that it could be fixed. Will built a way to stop the fracture. This. The countermeasure. We're traveling to the past to retrieve it. You can help us get there faster. Or you can agree to disagree.
I'll have to run diagnostics on the machine. I can't promise anything before that.
Amy, take Emerald to the machine. Keep an eye on her.
Sure thing. Okay, Doctor, let's go. And I can see right through you. Don't try anything stupid. You will regret it.
Jack, Before we head downstairs, we have to talk about something.
Yeah, first you have to explore, but chill, please.
Priorities. Das war's da was.
Hatch. This is the guy that visited me in the cell.
Martin.
Sounds like Serene's onto him. According to Monarch Communications, Hatch sabotaged a Monarch lab.
He may be undermining Paul, but I get the impression he's not on our side.
Martin had what we know. Facts gathered by Fiona Miller so far. Joined Monarch 2001. Became Serene's chief advisor around 2007. No records before 2001. Who was he? Where did he come from? Working against Monarch. Possible links to the following. Death of Dr. Kim unconfirmed. Alone with Dr. Kim at time of death. Death occurred just as Kim was on verge of a solution to Serene's time sickness. University time machine sabotage. Unconfirmed. Miscalculations on purpose. Hatch seen in lab. Assistance in Sophia's kidnapping, confirmed. Distracted Monarch while kidnapping occurred, knew we were coming, did not alert Serene. Destruction of Serene's remaining sickness treatments, unconfirmed. Was present outside Dr. Kim's lab when lab was destroyed. Accused Sophia of being responsible for this. Helped Charlie Winscott escape, confirmed. Currently helping Charlie reach Monarch Tower, undetected. Disobeying direct orders from Port Serene, wants access to CFR, potentially desires to sabotage lifeboat protocol, sabotaging Serene. Motive? Secretly assuring Serene's downfall. Wants to take over Monarch? Why? Sabotaging Monarch's survival plan from within. No possible reason for this. Doesn't believe countermeasure could stop fracture. Not a potential ally. Works for Monarch, therefore believes end of time is inevitable. Then why attempt to sabotage lifeboat protocol?
Steht hier auch tatsächlich alles?
Yep.
Süß. Haben sie ein kleines Martin Hedge-Profil gemacht.
Mhm. Das war erster Linie bestand aus, das was, hä, es geht alles gar keinen Sinn, what?
Komm da gar nicht
Ich glaube, da
hin.
kommt sie gleich erst hin, ja. Ah, das ist noch was.
Best chance and plans for the plan to travel to 2010 and steal the countermeasure.
Okay, what's up?
It's about the plan. If
Man
Emerald
sieht sie da
gets
sogar
the
im Hintergrund.
machine working.
We go back to yesterday and undo all of this.
Listen,
Also, man nicht
in the
sieht Amy, die
video
ein
Will
Auge
left for
aufgeht.
me, he said the countermeasure was stolen from his workshop on July 4th, 2010. He also said I took it. Maybe I did, Jack. We have a time machine.
You're saying we go to 2010. We steal it.
If Will was right, that would mean it wouldn't be a change. We take the countermeasure, bring it to the present, fix the fracture, save the world.
Okay. Explain to me why that's a better plan than just going back to yesterday and preventing all this from happening in the first place.
Because I'm afraid that based on what I know about time travel, we can't change anything. The past has already happened. We can't change it. But my way, we don't have to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my plan still feels simpler. Let's just get the machine working.
I really feel like I can do this.
Dr. Amaral seems convinced that Paul's been to the end of time. Do you think that's true?
Can't be. Otherwise, trying to prevent it would be pointless.
Why?
Because it's already happened.
Kannst du jetzt rechts durch die Tür?
Hello, Riverport. Well, it's been a rough night for us. The collision at the Port Donnelly Bridge that has claimed multiple lives is still being investigated. At least a dozen people are confirmed dead, and investigators say they expect to find more bodies, some of which are predicted to be found in the cars at the bottom of the river. The cause of the accident remains unclear. Adding to the confusion are conflicting reports from shipboard personnel and those on dry land. The captain of the cargo ship insists that the bridge was up and the route was clear. However, some people shoreside claim the cargo ship was approaching the bridge at high speed, despite the bridge having not yet been raised. Others express surprise at the ship's presence, claiming that they do not see its approach at all. The investigation is still ongoing. We'll keep you posted. Now, obviously, this disaster will affect us in more ways than one. With the Port Donnelly Bridge out of commission, heavy congestion is expected on the other routes across the river, and we now have reports coming in of multiple car crashes all over Riverport. So you will want to reserve enough time for your trip today if you're traveling by car. Stay safe out there.
Also war das echt ein Schiff aus einer anderen Timeline, wo die Brücke auf war. Okay, das habe ich gar nicht realisiert.
Mich wundert ja, dass sie Jack Joyce nicht gerade irgendwie daran gebracht haben.
Jack Joyce hat ein Schiff
gekapert.
Und ist pädophil.
I don't think we can trust her. The way she looked at the camera, like she's seen it before.
Ach, das da unten
She knows what it does.
Ja.
You think Will told her about it?
No. Will was never the kind to open up.
I can relate.
Will takes it to the next level. When we were kids, the only way that Will could express anything important to me was by informing my stuffed giraffe when I was in the room.
It's precious. And weird.
Ja, ich lese ja gerade das Buch von dem Spiel und da wird auch nochmal deutlich, also Will hat auf jeden Fall eine psychische Krankheit, eine psychische Behinderung, sag ich mal. Er ist halt nicht in der Lage, sich sozial zu äußern. Das wirkt alles sehr wie bestimmte Formen von Autismus. Aber wird jetzt nie benannt, wirklich. Aber nimmt Medikamente und so weiter und so fort. Genau, geh da mal rechts
sofort dahin.
Weil da ist ein neues Areal offen.
Jack, you've got to see this.
Good work keeping your eye on fucking...
Das wollte ich auch gerade sagen.
Jesus.
Die kann gerade gar nichts Falsches machen.
Ach, danke schön.
Okay, but first,
fuck off!
you need
Nicht
to check
okay.
out the intel I uncovered.
Should probably see how Dr. Emerald's doing.
All right. What is all this?
I uploaded all the files I stole on that USB stick from the Monarch security station. I also found a video of your brother. It's on that TV. You're gonna want to see it. Everything else I printed out and put on tables over there.
Seh nix.
Ja, was hätte ich noch gesagt?
Hätte sie?
Ja.
Oh. Sorry.
Vielleicht sagt das aber auch noch.
The date is, it's February 28th.
Jesus, Will.
1999. William Joyce.
1999.
After months,
First
Das war ein Stück davon, wenn das noch nicht
the
fertig
machine is finally ready for human testing. Ready is defined by me, since ready is obviously a relative term when you're dealing with the deformation of the chronon field and recreating of black holes' mass density by tangent. Okay, in short summary, I built a time machine, and it works. I'm gonna prove it, or die. Okay. Just need to make some final preparations. When I enter the machine, I will travel clockwise around the corridor.
So das vorherige Video auf der VHS, ne?
Ja.
Chronon levels are stable. I'll travel clockwise around the corridor, exiting back into the same location in the near future. Oh. This clock is set to my watch. Now, when I exit the machine, there should be a significant difference in time between my watch and the clock in this room. Corridor.
That's yeah, Back to the Future.
Okay. Setting the date to 5 minutes to the future for the first test. Now, admittedly, traveling to the past would be much more impressive. But I can travel backwards in time only as far as the first activation of the machine's core, which is, well, now. Okay. Machine's ready.
Ja, das wissen wir ja besser.
Monitor is stable. What I'm about to do is gonna change the very fabric of it. I don't remember.
What?
Something happened.
What's on the computer?
Monarch files I uploaded, and I kept the juiciest stuff on screen for you.
So das erste Mal?
Während du dran tippst, oder was?
Yep.
Okay. From Port 3.
Auch von 2013.
My fifth entry. I recall moving through a wheat field that once belonged to my grandparents. I pressed the wheat stalks to the side with my hands, softly sifting through them at first, but as I pressed forward, the stalks began to warp and curl around my arms, providing resistance to my every move. The entire field began to solidify into an unbreakable material, with my body entangled in the mess. I desperately tried to pull myself free, but every movement led to a burning sensation. The world desaturated. Time stopped. I heard the unmistakable sound of my greatest fear approaching. Shifters. They emerged from all sides, surrounding me. I looked into the distance and saw a blurry figure approaching. He tried to yell, but the words wouldn't escape his throat, instead transforming into an endless shriek pulsing through my ears. His every movement and sound transformed into an agonizing discomfort all throughout my body until it became completely unbearable. The pain trumped logic. I needed to make it stop. I needed to make it all stop. I grew violent, blindly lashing out at the figure, tearing him apart. I needed to destroy the source of motion and sound that caused me such discomfort. The pain stopped as I took the figure's life, and as he died, his identity became clear. It was me. I had become the very threat that I once feared, but I did not fear anymore. I felt something very clear, very pure. I turned around to discover Jack behind me. He didn't move, but I could somehow understand his intent. He welcomed me. Every misunderstanding, all the pain we had caused one another was forgotten. We were part of a higher consciousness. I heard a voice behind me, Dr. Kim. He joined us. He told me that time was once the fire in which we burned. He told me we would burn no more.
Dr. Poretta. Ist das nicht ein Pokémon?
Porenta ist ein Pokémon.
I am attaching Paul Serene's most recent entry in his dream journal. I'm growing increasingly concerned with the meaning behind these dreams, but I need a second opinion. I can treat Paul's sickness, really, as far as I can determine. The Cronin syndrome is more a metaphysical condition than an actual medical issue, but I'm a physicist. I'm very much out of my depth with all this. This exercise was meant to help alleviate stress to ease Paul's symptoms, but so far it has resulted in the opposite. Time is of the essence. His condition is getting worse by the day.
Time is of the essence, sagen die ja gern.
Mhm.
Is the city still hunting for me?
In full force. There's an entire webpage dedicated to potential Jack Joyce sightings. So I've been filling it in with false leads for fun. Do you want to pitch in?
Post that I was spotted in the back of a catering van somewhere.
You can do better than that. But okay, I'll let them know.
Nick ist hier, glaube ich, wenn du den dabei ist, einfach nur am Facebooken wieder oder so.
Facebooken? Oh Gott.
Yep.
Hey, Amy. What am I looking at here?
I've been recording Monarch communications with the radio that Beth left me. I made a compilation of anything that seemed like it might be useful.
Sogar Links einfach lesen.
Ja. Ist egal. Unknown Monarch personnel. HQ, come in. This is First Aid 1. We've got a situation here at the hospital. Over.
Go ahead, First Aid 1. Over.
It's a fucking mess down here, HQ. Burke showed up for his wife like we thought. Gibson intercepted him. Burke wouldn't come quietly, so Gibson drew on him and, well, Gibson's dead. Burke strangled him with a power cord in full sight of half the hospital. So, that kind of shit show. Over.
Do you have the situation contained? Where's Burke now? Over.
We're working the scene and wiped the footage, but Gibson didn't have backup, so who knows how many people saw the fight or where they are now. Same goes for Burke, he's in the wind, so's his wife. Over.
Copy that, First Aid 1. We'll run with that on our end. Just tidy things up over there. Over and out.
Kill all the hospital workers.
Yes.
Lifeboat document. Memo. Memo.
Ist das eine Mail? Ja, sieht so aus, ne? Meine Güte.
Controlling the riverport situation. From Clarice Ogawa to Field Team Leads.
Clarice Ogawa war die uns interviewt.
Genau, die Chefin, das ist Clarice, und sie ist die Chefin des Militäraspekts der Security von Monarch. I know the situation is fluid and things are progressing fast, but I want to reiterate our strategy for maintaining control over the city of Riverport. As you all know, we can't actually directly control the city. We don't have the manpower and we don't have the actual authority. It is therefore vital that we maintain a good relationship with the media and the local authorities and have them do much of the heavy lifting for us. Ideally, everything we do should be either undertaken by the authorities under our discreet direction. Das habe ich ein bisschen verwirrt. Discrete direction, or in cases where we take action ourselves backed by the powers that be, creating the illusion that Monarch Solutions is working in cooperation with legal authorities. Make no mistake, although we've been successful thus far, the situation is not stable and it can change quickly. If key parties in the city lose confidence in us and our ability to handle the crisis, our control will erode very quickly. Therefore, we must nurture this relationship even as we conduct our own operations, some of which involve considerable troop mobilization and combat action. This is a constant balancing act, and while I'm confident we can pull it off, there's no room for error. We can't afford to grow complacent and sloppy. Fortunately, we are well prepared for this contingency. Long before we reached this point, we established a good rapport with the mayor, Riverport PD, and other major authorities within Riverport, as well as most of the important media outlets. Our strategy is twofold. First, maintain control. It's imperative that we ensure that the city's various power structures remain under our control. This means maintaining a close relationship with numerous individuals and organizations, as well as manipulating the information at their disposal. While Charlie Winkett is unfortunately no longer working on this project due to unforeseen complications, he has set up powerful tools and procedures for scrubbing the internet and identifying and locating problematic situations and individuals. We are stationing people in key locations and maintaining control, often under the guise of advisors and consultants to people in power. They are ready to step in as required. Anybody working in these roles needs to be proactive and project a constant aura of helpful authority and dependability. Diplomacy is the order of the day, people. That's vital for maintaining certain fictions, such as Jack Joyce's culpability in the events at the university, etc. Willst du den zweiten Punkt übernehmen?
Minimize conflict. That is to say, make sure that individuals, whether they're politicians, city officials, police officers, reporters, ordinary citizens, etc., suffer a minimal impact from our activities. If we have to use force, the situation needs to take place out of sight and remain entirely contained. Whether containment means misdirection, coercion, intimidation, bribery, or some other means depends on the circumstances. But it's vital that nobody is left in a position to complain. To be explicitly clear, this doesn't mean we can eliminate witnesses and cover it up. When people don't come home, others start to ask questions, so that has to be a last resort. I expect all supervisors to monitor their teams closely to ensure things stay on an even keel. I know most of our operatives haven't been trained in the soft touch, and I'll be blunt, the last thing we need is somebody thinking this is Afghanistan and smacking a civilian around. We are one YouTube video away from this whole thing blowing up in our faces, so we have to maintain our operational profile throughout. For all these activities, we have a considerable budget. Monarch Solutions is very well off. We've been building resources for a long time, and this is considered a priority. So we can buy a lot of silence and cooperation from authorities and citizens alike. But that only works as long as those things are for sale. And the moment we are seen as a threat, that opportunity will disappear. If you see a problem, be proactive and call it in. Don't let anything run out of control or think it'll work itself out. We have to be sure the situation can unravel faster than we think, and we have to coordinate our activities properly. Any questions or concerns, please contact me sooner rather than later. Ich habe das Gefühl, wir haben ein sehr ähnliches Dokument schon mal gelesen, was von einem früheren Datum zwar war, aber
sein, ja.
Ähnliche Pläne.
Ja. Das war nur
detailliert
das war eine sehr lange Reiteration der gleichen Punkte.
Eigentlich schon.
Anybody here we can trust?
Fiona. She's my only remaining contact on the inside.
Ach, für alle.
What about this Burke guy? He was under arrest in the same transport as me.
Jury's still out on Burke.
Ich glaube, da wissen wir ja Bescheid eigentlich, oder? Ist da...
Ja, das sind... Ja, manche davon kommen halt auch nicht wirklich vor.
Ja, Carlos und Gibson sind beide schon tot.
Ja.
Das ist halt die von der Serie.
Wie die hier einfach so aufgelistet da liegen.
Das hat sie ja gerade gesagt. Sie hat
es ist so schön geordnet.
Monarch Mission Statement 1999 by Paul Serene.
Huh.
I have seen the path ahead, and I know it will be hard. I have founded Monarch Solutions to bring together those who will walk with me, the elite few whose skill, dedication and passion will live on when everything else ends. To that end, first, we will work under my guiding vision of the future, my knowledge of what is coming. We accept that we cannot change our fate, nor can we avoid it. It is a harsh truth, but it is the truth. We will accept it and its full implications, but we will not deviate from our course, nor give in to despair, nor give up the fight. Those of us who share in this knowledge, who learn the triumphs and tragedies of the days and years to come, will look past them and find ways to turn them to our advantage. The grey, uncertain area beyond what is known will be where we will build our empire. and we build it on the hope that we can persevere, that the end isn't our end, that we can still succeed. Second, we will expand Monarch's influence and power in all possible spheres, financial, political, cultural, medical, technological, military, to the best of our ability. This is a goal unto itself. We will need to be in a position of exceptional resources and ability to act when the time comes. We will build. We will seek success and profit, not for the sake of wealth and fame, but for the sake of preparedness. We will develop science and technology to counter a very specific set of circumstances. This as well as a tremendous financial... This will require extensive research and experimentation as well as tremendous financial costs. We will not be daunted by these challenges. We will complete our work. We will not compromise. We recognize that sacrifice is required and we are willing to pay the cost to meet our goals. There is no alternative to this. Doubt, calms and sentiment are luxuries we cannot afford. Whatever we have to do is a lesser evil than the extinction of the entire human race, and to pretend otherwise is weakness. Nothing in the history of our planet has been as important as this. Nothing we have accomplished as a species matters if we fail in our mission. We will not fail. There will be many challenges in the years ahead. I know what's coming. It can't be averted. There's no escaping it. But we can survive it and we can overcome it. And we will. I am dedicating myself, this company and every shred of willpower at my disposal to that mission. I expect the same from those who join me on it. Paul Serene.
Wurde schon mal erklärt, wie genau er zum ersten Mal Unterstützer gefunden hat, weil doch der enge Kreis um ihn herum wissen musste von der ganzen Zeitreisenummer.
Ja, nee, das wurde nicht gesagt.
Weil damals, als er dann in die Vergangenheit kam, hatte er ja keine Zeitmaschine und keine Möglichkeit nachzuweisen, also außerhalb des Wissens, das er hat über die Vergangenheit und dann irgendwie Predictions zu machen, die dann...
Ich glaube, dieses Mission Statement von 1990, das wurde noch gar nicht, also ich kann mir vorstellen, dass das jetzt gar nicht so direkt ausgeteilt wird, sondern dass das halt das Datum war, wo er das geschrieben hat, wo er halt seinen Plan angefangen hat auszurichten. Und dann über die nächsten 1-2 Jahre ist es ja relativ einfach, eine 9/11 und sowas vorher zu sagen und so weiter.
Das stimmt.
Da wird auch später noch ein bisschen drauf eingegangen.
Serene's original manifesto for Monarch.
3 plans to...
They had us practically memorize this.
Hundreds of employees. They actually believe all this bullshit?
More than you can imagine.
Das muss man ja nicht vorlesen, ne? Da steht ja nicht viel.
Ja, das hatten wir auch schon in den anderen.
Ja.
Das sind halt die 3 Phasen und wir sind jetzt gerade in Phase 3, wo es nicht mehr geplant ist.
Was that Paul?
That's how he arrived in the
Also vom
past.
Video.
How's that possible? It wasn't even the same time machine he entered at the university.
That's one question I still don't have an answer for.
Hä, war da jemand anders zu sehen auf dem Video?
Ja, man hat so halt gesehen, wie er runtergenockt wurde und da, also ich habe es auch kein genau gesehen, aber die haben es auch nicht.
Okay.
Hat er die Time Machine aktiviert, der Charlie, und dann wollte er ein Experiment starten. Will, Entschuldigung, Charlie, was los?
Ich weiß.
Und dann...
Ach so, der hieß in...
Kam anscheinend Paul. Ja, in Lost, dieser Charlie.
Okay, sehr gut.
No use going there before talking to Dr. Amaral.
War da nichts mehr sonst im Raum? Ich will noch mal sicher gehen, ich bin ein bisschen paranoid.
Ja, das ist in dem anderen Raum
ist aber
da.
auch noch was.
Oh, tatsächlich. Eins in der Mitte übergangen.
The lifeboat.
Yeah. Well, according to Monarch Communications, Paul Serene just activated that thing.
Far sooner than they were supposed to.
What does that mean?
Means we have less time than I hoped.
On the Unique Nature of the Lifeboat by Dr. Amaral.
Das ist ein ganz schön viel Text.
While the lifeboat protocol is fairly straightforward on the surface, it's important that the people involved with the project understand how it radically differs from other survival scenarios against so-called apocalyptic threats. Start approving. A traditional bunker built to protect the occupants from an environmental hazard is typically sealed airtight, and the occupants have their own electricity, air supply, provisions, etc. The bunker interior is isolated from the outside environment, but the lifeboat's design is different. It's not actually sealed because it doesn't have to be. It does have strong walls and protected access points, but the outside environment is not the problem. It's the lack of the Maya-Joyce field that enables time to exist that makes the outside hazardous. From a technological standpoint, these differences make the lifeboat's operating principles quite different, particularly with regards to maintenance, compared to, say, the failure of the life support system in a hermetically sealed survival space, such as a bunker. The failure of the lifeboat's stutter-proofing system has far more immediate and grave effects. A traditional life support system can be repaired. For instance, a failure in the CO2 scrubbers would pose a significant threat, but with replacement parts and tools, properly trained occupants could easily repair the system before they could feel any ill effects. In fact, almost any mechanical failure short of a full-scale environmental breach can be fixed as long as suitable repair materials and trained personnel are at hand. But by its very nature, the stutter-proofing is different. If it fails, everybody within its area of effect is immediately affected by the zero state and becomes frozen. In a permanent zero state scenario, that means they would have no opportunity to ever effect repairs. There's literally no time to react. The only exception would be personnel wearing an activated chronon harness such as the striker suit, but given that repairing the stutter-proofing system is a highly technical, complicated process requiring an exceptional proficiency in the operation and engineering of chronon technology, this would be a scenario with a low probability of success. It is therefore of utmost importance that the lifeboat stutter-proofing operates reliably and without faults with multiple fail-safe systems, because if it ever fails, it's unlikely that it can be repaired or restrained. Accordingly, once the lifeboat protocol has been activated, there's no real way to deactivate it other than removing the chronon field regulator. This would be highly inadvisable, as doing so could not only disrupt the stutter-proofing, but more importantly, without the CFR, the lifeboat's rate of chronon particle consumption is increased by a vast margin, effectively reducing its potential operating time to a fraction of what is intended. Unique advantages and risks. However, it's worth pointing out that even though the lifeboat operation has unique hazards, there are also unique advantages. One such advantage is provisions. A traditional survival scenario in a bunker typically involves a poor quality of meals due to obvious resourcing problems. Anything that spoils easily is out of the question. In a zero-state scenario, however, spoilage becomes a non-issue. Anything stored outside the stutter-proofing area remains in perfect condition. This advantage doesn't only apply to comestibles, but also makes the storage of medicine, volatile chemicals, and other similar articles far less of a problem than it otherwise would be. In fact, given the fact that the city of Riverport is vast compared to the relatively small number of people residing in the lifeboat, in theory, Monarch operatives could venture outside the lifeboat in chronon harnesses and actually enjoy freshly cooked meals simply by entering a restaurant and finding the ready-made dishes that have been prepared. Remove them from the zero state to a stutter-proofed area and enjoy them as hot and delicious as if they had just been prepared, which in fact they of course would be. To be clear, this is not a recommended activity, as it would be foolish waste of resources to go after individual meals like that. The above scenario is mentioned here merely to illustrate the point. Even though the lifeboat has been designed to operate for decades of subjective time, it doesn't actually need provisions for that long. If the lifeboat's own reserves start to run low, a well-planned supply run into the city could easily result in a great deal of perfectly preserved supplies. Another advantage is that while the situation outside the lifeboat would be dire, people frozen in the zero state would not actually be dead. If a solution is found to the end of time scenario, everybody would resume their everyday lives, most likely with no awareness of time ever having stopped. However, it's hard to know what the exact psychological impacts of that knowledge on lifeboat personnel would be. There's a real concern that the pressure of knowing that they have sole responsibility for the survival of the human race and that there are billions of people outside of the walls of the lifeboat, helpless and unaware, frozen eternally in that last moment, may prove to be crushing for some. On the other hand, knowing that their loved ones are actually not dead and may be saved and are not in any distress or indeed even aware of the situation may prove to be a powerful motivating factor that helps us eventually resolve the situation. Of course, the solution to the problem of a permanent zero state is not currently within our reach, and we expect that finding one will take subjective decades. If it is indeed possible, we can but try. It's worth noting that since the people outside lifeboat are indeed not dead, merely stopped, it should be possible for a team of personnel wearing chronon harnesses to exit the lifeboat, retrieve a person, and bring them into the lifeboat. However, I advise against adopting this practice. For the occupants, that should forever remain a theoretical scenario. Any situation in which somebody is brought in from the outside world would cause undue stress on the occupants, who would at that point have to become acutely aware that their loved ones could be brought in. But since the lifeboat has limited space, this could never be allowed. That kind of psychological pressure would likely lead to friction and questions of favoritism and ultimately increase the risk of mission failure.
Nicht schlecht. Nicht schlecht.
So, jetzt können wir weitermachen.
Die haben sich Gedanken gemacht damit.
Ja.
Darüber.
Was ich interessant finde, in unserer Spielwelt hier ist ja immer so, dass Sachen zurücksnappen zu ihrem Punkt, wo sie waren, wenn wir sie bewegen. Aber man hat ja schon gesehen, dass Jack so Leute anfassen kann und dann sind sie raus aus so einem Stutter.
Das wurde aber extra auch erwähnt, dass er diese Fähigkeit hat, dass das was krasses Besonderes ist und dass sie das selbst nicht erklären konnten so ganz. Weißt du, wo er das erste Mal macht.
Ja.
Das hat er auch nur bei, das funktioniert nicht bei allen, das hat er ja bei Amy am Anfang nicht geglaubt.
Jack. Hi. It's Will. I guess you're in Thailand by now. I'm not sure if you even still use this number. I don't like how we left things. I've been under a lot of pressure. There's some things I should tell you. I'd like to make it right. Just call me, okay?
Ich habe gerade, während du das vorgelesen hast, mal in mein Wasserglas so, ich bin so in so eine Trance gekommen und dann war noch ein bisschen Wasser in meinem Wasserglas und ich habe das so quasi komplett seitlich in meiner Hand immer weiter. Deswegen habe ich mich gerade, ich war ein bisschen mein Po so kalt und deswegen ist ach, ich sitze in einer Pfütze, okay.
Ja.
Und dann war mein nächster Gedanke, oh fuck, das Mikro, aber das lag woanders.
Gratuliere, Robin.
Also, hier war richtig Action, während Tom das vorgelesen hat bei mir.
Drei, die sind aber nicht in dem Raum hier, sondern einfach nur in dem Kapitel, ne?
Ja.
How's it look?
The problem is quite simple, really. The power relay is down.
Die Auflösung von dem Bildschirm ist ein bisschen unschlüssig.
Yep.
There, where the light is. I'll lower the ladder for you.
What happened to the power relay?
Power surge
Kann ich
occurred at
jetzt
7
rein?
a.m. this morning, when the machine was activated.
Nee, musst du später noch. Du kannst richtig gerade hoch.
7 a.m.
Fuck.
Alter.
That's hours before we even got here.
Well, the numbers don't lie.
Okay, es wurde vor unserer Ankunft aktiviert. Von
Okay.
uns selbst.
The console here's got 2 red lights, 1 green one.
You'll
Ey,
have to
nicht die Waffe
reset
ziehen.
the power to the 2 stations with the red lights before activating the relay. Both stations are located above the machine. Just follow the cables to the red lights.
Jetzt kannst du da.
Above the machine.
Tür war.
It's a perfect place for a reset switch, Will.
Yep.
Okay, so da hoch.
Ja, du kannst durch die Tür.
Oh.
Smooth.
Ja.
Kannst du noch mit jemandem reden? Ich glaube nicht. Nee.
Doch, sie hat doch so ein Ding.
Fuck, okay.
So, how do I reset the power?
There are 2 control panels with red lights located above the machine.
Okay.
Reset both of them.
Weiß
He
ich
knows
doch.
it's already.
Wieso konnte ich da oben die Waffe ziehen und jetzt nicht mehr?
Das ist wahrscheinlich, weil das einfach ein ganz kurzer Quadratmeter, der nicht als Exploration Zone
Das gilt
gemacht
halt nur
war.
für die Horizontale hier, aber haben sie nicht
Das
für
kann
die
es-
obere Ebene noch gemacht.
Könnten wir gleich mal versuchen. Das wäre auf jeden Fall interessant.
Wächst ein Baum aus dem Haus.